In this video, we'll show you how to identify which shapes of shades work best with your lamp and what to consider when making your decision.
Depending on the shade you use, you can often change the personality of your lamp. This is a very traditional lamp, and generally we would put on a traditional shade. As you can see, there's a square base, but then it also has a round part to it. The cut corner square on this is a traditional shape but it takes into account the squareness of the base, but because of the softness on the corners, it also incorporates the roundness on the shade. And the taper here also incorporates the little bit of the taper that we have. Here we have a typical Empire shade, which works well on just about any lamp with a round body to it. It has a smaller top and a wider bottom, and the length of it is a good length so that it doesn't overwhelm the lamp. Should you want a more modern look for your lamp, you might want to try a rounded corner tapered rectangle. The rounded corners softens up the rectangle as opposed to the sharp angles on the bottom, but it works better with the other components of the lamp. This soft-sided bell shade is the perfect shape for this modified ginger jar lamp. The shape of the bell almost inversely mimics the shape of the lamp itself. It gives it a very traditional look. This retro drum, which has a slightly smaller top and a wide bottom and is slightly longer than a regular short drum, accommodates the wide part of the base very well, and it gives your lamp a more dramatic look. The British Empire is probably one of the most versatile shades. It bridges the gap between a traditional Empire, which would have a smaller top and would be longer, and a modern short drum, which would be wide on the top and wide on the bottom. This combines the best of both. The angles give it more interest, and it accommodates the width of the lamp base. The small top and the wide bottom of the Cooley shade lends itself to relative proportions of a very wide-bodied short lamp. Should we try to get something else that would work with such a fat base, the height of the shade would probably overwhelm the lamp. Should you want to soften the hard lines of the rectangular lamp, you might want to try a retro oval. This still keeps the length that you need for the rectangle, but it also shortens the depth from front to back, and it still keeps the modern look, and it's better than a drum, which would take up much more volume. This is probably one of the easiest lamps to shade because of the rectangular shape of it, which exactly the box rectangle follows the same lines. The sharp corners on the rectangle also give it a very modern look. Also, it's very important, if you need the space, it doesn't go that far back, so it's very helpful. A tall drum or cylinder is one of the most common shades used for lamps of the mid-century period. The cylinder echoes the columnar shape of the lamp, and also when you have a cylinder such as this, it's going to be smaller at the smaller diameter but taller in order to adjust the proportion. Another good look for a cylindrical lamp such as this would be a short drum. As you can see, this is much wider than the tall cylinder we had on before, and therefore it's also shorter. Proportion is the key when you're shading your lamp. A tall, skinny lamp works well with a tall, narrow shade. The height of the shade compensates for the narrow diameter. As you can see on this lamp, the taper on the top of the shade inversely matches the taper on the top of the lamp. The well-rounded, almost oval shape of this lamp is well complemented by the oval shade. Again, this almost mimics the shape of the lamp base.
Thank you for watching. If you need more help selecting the right style of shade for your lamp, feel free to visit us in our showroom or contact us online.